just got another update of what the real outline of the tax structure is going to be. So maybe tomorrow we'll get another update on what the outline of the tax structure will be. We still haven't gotten a bill, and that's what we're all waiting for. We have not gotten bills, at least in the Senate. We did have one bill today, two bills today that we dealt with, two rather small bills in the whole budget, but we don't know the details. I guess about a 25% increase in the top rate in taxation, abandonment of the commitment to repay the school aid shift. They're going to use the Republican budget that we passed 2 years ago to repay the school aid shift. Our budget is generating enough revenue that we can afford to do that. Looks like the business-to-business sales tax is still in play. I'm not quite sure what the details are, and this idea that it's only going to affect businesses is nonsense. Any tax you put on a business is going to ultimately affect consumers and everybody that buys anything that those businesses support. So these are taxes that are going to hit everybody in the state of Minnesota, and they're unnecessary. We've got a $600 billion problem. You don't need to raise $2 to $3 billion in revenue to solve a $600 million problem. So with all respect to the governor and his plan, yeah, he's keeping a commitment, but it's not anything that's going to be good for the people of the state.
I would agree with Senator Han. I think we're seeing them roll out another framework in 4 days. We have yet to see an actual bill, and I think more than anything right now we've got unanswered questions. We were told that business-to-business taxes were off the table. Now they're back on the table. Most concerning for us, House File number 1 and the number 1 commitment of the House Democrat caucus was to pay back the school shift, and they are now breaking that promise to Minnesotans. And moreover, they're going to use money left over from the Republican budget that is working, that is creating surplus revenue right now for the state of Minnesota to continue to pay back the school shift. So, we're concerned about that broken promise to Minnesotans, and ultimately this is a budget, it sounds like, that will continue to increase taxes on every Minnesotan. Very regressive taxes by increasing sales taxes on business to business. Those costs get passed on to consumers, and cigarette taxes we know are very regressive. So again, a broken promise, and they said they were going to raise taxes on the wealthy, which they are doing, but they're also raising taxes in the majority of their tax bill on every Minnesotan. Every Minnesotan will pay more under this tax bill, and unfortunately it's going to harm Minnesota's economy and hurt job growth in the state of Minnesota.
Well, they also didn't talk about, but I assume that the gasoline tax that they talked about on Sunday is still in play. I didn't hear them mention that, but I assume that's still on the table. So there's another tax increase that probably in the transportation bill, and with gasoline prices hitting record highs in the last few days, I guess we can expect to pay additional costs on gasoline as well. So.
One thing they also didn't talk about was I know when the bills left the House, we had over $300 million in additional fees. Those things also will mean higher prices for goods and services in Minnesota that will be hit by or paid by every Minnesotan.
Bonding?
Well, yeah, what bonding bill?
Have they talked to you at all?
They have not talked to us. We don't need a bonding bill, and frankly, the state doesn't need any more taxpayer dollars to solve our budget problems.
I'm actually, on the House side, we're very disappointed in the conversations or lack thereof thus far on bonding. I know the Democrats plan to bring a $800 billion bonding bill to the floor, and I'll repeat what I said earlier. The votes do not exist in the Republican caucus to pass an $800 million bonding bill. So it's getting late in the session. I think it's time to get serious, and if we really want to pass these bills, let's get them in bill format. Let's talk to people who you need votes from, and let's get our work done, the work that the Minnesotans sent us here to do, and let's drop the distractions like unionizing small business owners in their own home.
You guys didn't like the surcharge. They dropped the surcharge. Now you're bashing them for not paying back the school shift with the surcharge.
Well, no. What they're doing is they're using money, surplus money from the current budget that is working. They criticized Republicans when we put that budget in place. We balanced the state's budget without increasing taxes, and we have a surplus because we didn't raise taxes. Minnesota's economy grew, and Minnesota's economy created jobs, and that's the money that's going to pay back the school shift. So the number one issue that Democrats want to accomplish this session is being accomplished by Republicans.
All right. Stay tuned.
Is